I remember seeing a decent-sized house that looked a tad run down. Then saw a bizarre message playing on the TV.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system.
That's when I grabbed a large blade from the knife set on the realized that the mouth that was supposedly swallowing my hand.
What was more surprising was that one of the female students jumped to her death from our apartment at that daybreak.
She says she hates Congolese men, but she's out here making me bonjour.
What's up? Kevin, the Nankels, back with another video. Guys, I'm retiring soon, like at this point, like, hey, how many times have I even said this last year that I forgot I had a YouTube again, like, it's been long, I know it's been like 3 months. You guys are gonna be asking where I've been, guys. I've been busy. I even forgot that I had a YouTube channel. So, like similar, like I just came across one of my videos again, and I'm like, oh, so, but it's been long, man. So, yes, I'm back. We're reacting to Scary Horror Stories. Hop to it. Let's go. I'm out. Goodbye. And one thing, I'm serious this time. I say this might be my last time. Maybe the next time when you see me on this platform, this YouTube account, I may be either singing, like this is the final one. After this one is the compilation. You know, every year we do a compilation. So like, it might be the final. This might be the final video, the final compilation. Because the next time you might see me, I might be either singing or doing other content. But yeah, but that's for later. Hop to it. Let's go.
I'm doing all that I can, and everybody hates Chris. They can't understand. Can we love? 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 Girl, I know I told you this ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over. Oh.
1. Like this? I am currently living together with my best friend. One day, while we were sleeping, she suddenly screamed and jumped up from the bed. I asked what happened, and she explained what she had just experienced. So she got a sudden sleep paralysis when she was sleeping. She couldn't move her body at all. Moaning, she called my name desperately and said, "Help me, I think I got sleep paralysis. Give me a hug if you can hear my voice." Just then, someone started to press on her chest with an unbelievable, tremendous force. And she replied with my voice, to be exact. Like this? Like this? And my voice sounded like frantically, she said. 2. The ticking sound. One day in the middle of the late night, I woke up to the sudden sound of the clock ticking. And what I realized right after I opened my eyes was that there was no clock at all in my room. As soon as I recognized the fact, the ticking sound coming from my room suddenly began to be heard, like an offbeat. You know, the ghosts could make the sound of ticking. 3. The computer in the motel room. Because of my work, I had to stay at a motel one night. While I was sleeping for a long time, I suddenly saw the computer turning on automatically around 4 a.m. On top of everything else, internet broadcasting suddenly started. I thought something was weird, but I was so tired that I was almost going back to sleep. Then I heard the sudden voices of 2 men on the computer.
Wow, 22 people are watching now.
Terrified, I immediately turned off the computer right away. 4. The coincidence. I experienced this myself once before. While I was sleeping, I had a dream of someone pulling me roughly. Surprised, I swung at someone that pulled me in my dream with my fist and then woke up. And when I opened my eyes, I was hanging on the balcony railing, and my mother was pulling me desperately. Her nose was bleeding, and I realized that it was my mom who pulled me in my dream at that moment to save my life. What was more surprising was that one of the female students jumped to her death from our apartment at that daybreak.
Not everything we see in sleep paralysis is a hallucination.
My name is Amber, and ever since my childhood, I've experienced sleep paralysis a lot more than the average person. And let's just say, it's one of the most unpleasant things you can experience. Since childhood, I've always had vivid hallucinations when I was experiencing sleep paralysis, and they've always scared me, even to this day. This story is one of the most terrifying things that have and ever will happen to me in my lifetime.
Your eyebrows on point though.
It all started in late January. I had just moved into this new house in a small village on the island of Hawaii. My house was near a deep pond, and I got it for a good deal because it was supposedly haunted, and no one else wanted to purchase it.
That's
But
a
I've
clue.
never really believed in the paranormal or anything like that. So I just saw the good deal on a decent-sized house and took it.
No, girl.
A few weeks after buying the house, a big snowstorm hit one night, causing the power to go out. And
In
so
Hawaii?
again, I couldn't see a thing, so I decided that I would head to bed early and get an early start on unloading boxes the next day.
Don't investigate.
I hopped into bed, pulled my blankets over me, and fell asleep in the pitch black room. I woke up to the noise of tapping at my window.
No! Don't look.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to get up, but realized I couldn't move at all. What is that? Sleep paralysis took over my whole body. The strange boy kept staring at me. His eyes were pitch black, as if he had no pupils. He had a wide, inhuman, devilish grin, and his teeth were huge. I was terrified and wanted to scream, but I couldn't, and was forced to watch him.
Oh my gosh.
I kept telling my mind that it was just a hallucination, but it was a lot more vivid than any other hallucination that I had ever had. Then in a split second, he was gone.
It's gone.
I calmed myself, thinking it's all going to be over soon now. My fear started to rise when I heard the noise of clanging in the kitchen.
No.
Did he break into my house? I was getting paranoid. I couldn't move. I strained my eyes to try to see the bedroom door through the darkness, and I could see something. A figure standing on the other side of my bedroom door. He slowly opened the door. It was the boy.
Run!
I could hear every footstep he made. He continued to creep towards my bed, and I could see his devilish grin from the corner of my eye.
Ew.
He just stood there for minutes. It was lasting longer than any sleep paralysis I had ever experienced. I felt that I was about to die. I was just praying it would be over soon.
I thought it was a flag.
My prayers were answered,
It's over.
and I was finally able to move again. The boy was gone. The next morning, when I woke up, I felt something strange as I walked on the carpet. The carpet was soaking wet. And at that point, it hit me. Was it really a hallucination? Or did someone actually come into my room last night? I shared this incident with some of the neighbors, and it turns out there was a spooky story about the pond near my new house.
Wow.
Back in 1947, a group of kids were playing on the banks of the pond. One boy accidentally tripped over a log and fell into the water. Before any of the other children could react, the boy sank beneath the water surface. For a few moments, they waited for him to resurface, but there was no sign of him. Horrified, they ran back to the village to get help. Some local men came as fast as they could and dived into the pond, searching for the young boy. They were terrified by what they found. The boy was sitting on a rock at the very bottom of the pond. His arms were hanging down by his sides, and his body was swaying back and forth with the currents. His eyes were wide and his mouth was hanging open, but he was dead in the water. The eerie sight sent shivers down the spines of the men who had dived in to save him. They were deeply disturbed and said it was such an unusual way to drown. It was as if the boy had calmly sat down on the rock and waited there to die. Ever since, bizarre rumors began to spread around the area. Many villagers believed that the ghost of the drowned boy lurked beneath the deep waters of the pond. They said that at night he would come to the surface cold, wet, and shivering. His icy hands clutching at unsuspecting victims and trying to pull them into his watery grave. According to the rumors, he was trapped in this world by accident. The only way he could escape was to find someone else to take his place at the bottom of the pond.
What?
As I mentioned before, I don't really believe in the paranormal, but that creeped the hell out of me. After that, I put my house up for sale as I am no longer able to sleep peacefully in this house. A strange, eerie feeling always keeps me restless. But unfortunately, so far, no one has come to view the house or made any offers, as it was famous for being haunted.
Yeah, they're not
My current
crazy.
situation does not allow me to rent a house, so I am stuck here. I just hope I am able to get out of this place.
And there was a time when I used to suffer major sleep paralysis episodes. I used to wake up in a vegetative state, where I knew I was conscious, but there's no way I could move my body. And during that state, I experienced some pretty bad hallucinations. These episodes occurred so frequently that I still can't figure out how much of it I hallucinated, and how much of it actually happened. Because there is this one time where things got real, freaking the hell out of me. In the beginning, it started with me waking up at night feeling stuck in my own body. I could see, feel, hear everything around me, but couldn't act on it until my body was released. Slowly, this state turned into a more complicated condition. For example, I woke up one night and saw myself standing near the bed and watching myself. I can't tell you how terrified I was after breaking free. I decided to see a psychiatrist for this. Dr. Berman gave me sleeping pills and said with time that it'll pass. He said there's no particular treatment for sleep paralysis other than improving sleep habits, including going to bed at the same time every night, ensuring a comfortable sleep environment free of distractions, and avoiding caffeine before sleeping. I followed his instructions, and for a month I did quite well, but things took a bad turn all of a sudden. One night, I dozed off on my living room couch, and it happened again. There's not much furniture in my apartment because I recently moved in. Apart from the couch, there's a TV set, a lamp, and a rocking chair. The chair was already in my apartment before I moved in. I think it belonged to the previous tenant, and I let it be as it was extra sitting arrangement for me. I woke up with the same feeling of being stuck, but this time, neither I saw myself, nor I felt alone. Instead, I saw someone sitting in the chair and rocking back and forth. I could tell it was a woman, probably in her late 70s. The most terrifying thing about experiencing sleep paralysis is that you will know that you're awake, but you'll also know that you're seeing something that isn't there in real life. I knew there's no one in this apartment except me when I saw this woman sitting in her rocking chair. She didn't turn her face towards me and made a single sound. She just rocked back and forth. This phenomenon started to occur every night, but I was confident that it was all my imagination, because as soon as I broke free from the state of trance, the lady was gone. I told my psychiatrist, Dr. Bergman, about this, and he too said the same thing, that it was nothing but mere hallucinations. I opted for meditation before going to bed, because Dr. Bergman said it would help my sleep, and I did it for a few weeks. I was almost feeling relieved that I stopped having further episodes, until one night, I experienced a living nightmare. I had a friend over. Let's call him Matt for the sake of the story. Matt and I watched a football match and drank a couple beers. Matt drank a bit too much, so we stayed the night at my place. Around 3 a.m., I heard heavy breathing from a very close distance. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw a horrifying face leaning over me and looking directly into my eyes. Her white, frail hairs were all over me. It was that woman who rocked in the chair. I wanted to scream, but I realized that I was having an episode and started telling myself that it wasn't real, that this is all my imagination. The woman then spoke to me. "You think I'm not real, huh?"
Check that laugh.
I was gasping for air, as I couldn't breathe out of the shock. She got up and started walking to Matt's side of the bed. I watched her approach my friend with a sinister smile. She slowly came near him and then leaned on him in the same manner. Her jaws then started to stretch into a huge hollow mouth and started devouring Matt's head. She was eating my friend's head like a python gulps its prey. Saliva was dripping from her mouth, and Matt's head was completely inside it. I can't explain how terrifying that scene was. She looked at me with her hungry eyes while sucking the life out of my friend. I wanted to break free and pull Matt out of her mouth, but I couldn't do anything but lie like a living corpse. Suddenly, my alarm went off and I sprung on my bed screaming. Matt woke up with this shock, and the lady was nowhere to be found. "What the hell, bro? What happened? That woman, she was..." And I passed out without finishing my sentence. Matt took me to the hospital. The doctors thought I had a panic attack in my sleep, due to the fit of intoxication. My psychiatrist, Dr. Bergman, was also informed, and I stayed in intensive care for a week. Matt still doesn't know what I saw that night, and I don't think I'll ever be able to tell him. I no longer live in that apartment, but before leaving it, I asked the landlord about the history of that rocking chair, to which he told me. Many years back, this apartment was a healthcare unit for mentally deranged people. They had lots of violent patients, among which one patient was the most dangerous. It was a 65-year-old lady who couldn't stand children in her sight. She was brought to the unit after trying to devour a newborn from a local hospital. People claimed her to be possessed, and some even thought she was a practitioner of witchcraft at her young age. She used to sit in that chair and rock back and forth all night and all day. After knowing, I don't think anyone could have stayed in that apartment. But the surprising thing is that no one lived there before I saw this lady, or experienced anything of the sort. I don't know if I imagined her completely, because I knew nothing about her when I started hallucinating her. The other most terrifying thing is that last week I met Matt in a nightclub. He was there partying with his colleagues. I noticed a ring of bruises on his forehead, which wasn't there before. As I asked him what happened to his head, he gave me a very weird reply. He paused and looked at me for a few seconds, and then said, "I must have fallen from my rocking chair."
Today was October 21st.
Halloween day.
Just several days shy before Halloween.
21st.
My
Never mind.
anticipation grew higher and higher as I planned to host a Halloween party at my place. I remember setting up a Facebook event and inviting my close friends and coworkers to join the party. My friend Dave would usually be the one to host these kind of events, but unfortunately he couldn't do it this year as his parents were having renovations done at their house. While setting up the event, I didn't take into consideration that my parents were extremely against Halloween festivities. They would always lecture me on why Halloween was a holiday only made for kids who wanted to go to hell and worship the devil. What made things more frustrating was how they kept the same beliefs until now, despite me being in my late teens. One night, I noticed my mom sitting in the living room watching TV. I began to approach her direction while trying to muster up any plausible excuse that would persuade her in the favor of my party idea. I casually hovered over her saying, Hey, Mom. Just in case Dad didn't tell you today, I just wanted to say that you look very beautiful.
What the hell do you want, George?
What?
You're not usually this nice, so spit it out, whatever you have to say.
Can I invite my friends over for Halloween this
Get the
year?
hell out of my face!
I remember heading to my bedroom while pouting under my breath on how I was living such an unfair life. I sat in front of my computer and began sulking for the remainder of the night as I messaged the bad news to my friend Dave. As I embarrassingly addressed the issue, Dave responded back by suggesting that we purchase an Airbnb instead of hosting the party at someone's house. I thought it was a pretty smart idea, so we mutually agreed to get an Airbnb that was located somewhere more secluded and away from the suburban part of town. Feelings of excitement began exuberating throughout my body, as I couldn't help but feel exhilarated at the notion that I didn't have to deal with my parents' incompetence. Fast forward to October 31st, and it was officially Halloween.
Pennywise.
I began driving towards the Airbnb destination about an hour or two after check-in, just so I could prep before the guests arrived. As I got closer to the destination, I remember seeing a decent-sized house that looked a tad run down. It didn't look like there were any other houses around, just a lot of tall trees and a scent of pine cones in the air. I figured it would add to the spooky ambiance considering this was Halloween. As I got inside, I immediately started setting up for the party while having a few glasses of alcohol on the side. A couple hours later, the sun was finally beginning to set, which meant that the guests were on their way to the party. I figured I'd dress as Georgie from the movie It, as my name was George, so pun intended. I texted and called my friend Dave, but unfortunately didn't get a response. I speculated that everyone was either unable to find the correct address or was just going to show up to this party fashionably late. That's when the living room TV begins to abruptly turn on. I then saw a bizarre message playing on the TV, as if it came straight out of the movie The Purge saying,
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the US government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials...
What the hell is going on? I turn the TV off and immediately hear a knock coming from the front door. I opened the door and saw some kids shout, "Trick or treat!" Sorry guys, no candy here today. You suck, and wearing a raincoat isn't a costume, cheapskate. I'm dressed as Georgie, you idiot! I slammed the door shut and began to hammer down another drink.
They ain't got issues.
That's when I heard another knock at the door. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away! I'm not handing out any candy, you stupid kids! I angrily approached the door and looked through the peephole, only to see a group of people wearing purge masks while holding machetes. At first glance, I thought it was the guests from the party, but then I heard one of the guys say, "Maybe we can go through the backyard and take him out there." My heart began to submerge into my stomach. I turned off all the house lights and simultaneously darted across the living room to make sure that the backyard sliding door was locked. As I secured the lock handle, one of the purgers slammed his hand on the glass door while yelling, "Open the door, Georgie! Leave me alone or I'm calling the cops!"
Why'd you guys always
That's
say
when I
that?
grabbed a large blade from the knife set on the kitchen counter and ran towards the bedrooms. I then saw a red balloon hovering above the ground. I couldn't tell if I was hallucinating or not from the belligerent state that I was in. Nonetheless, I plowed through the hallway and locked myself in one of the bedrooms. As I glanced through the blinds of the bedroom window, I saw someone dressed as Pennywise dancing psychotically while staring in my direction. I heard nothing but the sound of my heart throbbing vigorously through my chest cavity. That's when I hear the closet door open behind me. I couldn't move a single muscle as I was honestly petrified to turn around. I then felt a soft tap on my shoulder with someone saying, "Hi, Georgie." Ah! How the hell did you get in here? You want a balloon, Georgie? What? Here. Take it. Take it. Get away from me, clown! You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too! That's when the clown's mouth abnormally opens wide and begins to swallow my entire head. I felt like my life was slowly diminishing. Through my drunken haze, I dug the kitchen blade into the stomach of the clown despite not being able to see a thing. I could feel the hand that was digging at the clown's stomach become wet from the blood being shed everywhere. I then opened my eyes and realized that the mouth that was supposedly swallowing my head was none other than a brown paper bag being held by my friend Dave. Happy Halloween!
She